Hello and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last time Lily left us forever. She's never coming back. Walking through the lobby to the cafeteria, I silently rue my daily routine having been completely thrown off. It had seemed like a normal day. I arrived in class before most due to waking early, and having become quite adept at chucking down my pills without choking as I get ready for the day. But as students trickled in, one never materialized. Hanako. I step inside, my eyes scanning the expanse of the cafeteria in search of a suitable place to take my seat. It's a task made more difficult by the groups of students moving out and busily talking. Yeah! A hand pounds my back hard a couple times, severely winding. Wow. I couldn't care less about the culprit as I focused my thoughts on my chest in a near-automatic reaction. My hand instinctively tightens on my breast, and I start going through the steps I rehearse in my mind every other day. Breathe steady. In and out. With a measure of relief, I can slowly feel my chest becoming less tense. By the time I look back up, my face is covered in sweat from the experience. Kenji, you fuck! Hey, man, are you okay? God damn it! Don't do that, idiot! Meh. Oh, why are you so mad? He looks so offended. You're the one who smacked me and almost made me have a heart attack. You jerk. He retreats back, an expression of unease written on his face. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have barked at... No, you should have barked at him. He's mean. And he also just came over here and smacked you and almost literally killed you. Do I need to go over again the fact that he actually kills you? He kills you, Hisao! He retreats back, an expression of unease written on his face. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have barked at him, considering he had no way to know. Well, it doesn't matter. If he would have killed you, he would have been a lot more upset than if you just barked at him. Or he should be. Because you're one of the few men in the feminist conspiracy army defense or whatever. I give a sigh and right myself with some difficulty. Sorry, I just have some chest problems. Sharp knocks aren't good. It seems strange to see him so upset. The fact that I can't do anything about it irritates me. Whatever, he's a little bitch. Let him be upset. Let's get lunch. Okay, it's good to have some company for once. I don't like where this is going. I don't want to have lunch with Kenji. We start off to the serving line. One good thing is that Kenji and I can make small talk nowadays, as opposed to my only interaction with him being anti-feminist lectures. Seems like it'd be hard to find an empty table. There's a few people I wouldn't mind sitting with. Nobody's like you, though. Thanks. I feel a shiver run through my spine. Clarify that now. They don't listen. Their minds are closed. It's the media, man. The goddamn brainwashing mainstream feminist fascist media. Oh, God. He takes a breath and I savor the second of silence. Yes. Just breathe. The beautiful silence of Kenji not talking to us. Beautiful. Damn, they control everything. Everything but you and me. I relax a little while we grab our food and drink. I turn my brain off as I cannot be asked to give a shit about what Kenji is talking about. So, what have you got for me? Huh? Come on, you've been hanging around Sato and the other chick for ages now. Rumors are all over my class and probably some of the others too. Eavesdropping isn't a good habit. Man, you gotta eavesdrop in this day. They're not just gonna come out with their feminist secrets. You gotta keep your ear to the ground and listen to the worms. Let me guess, you never do it? Not even when you're bored? Really? Wait. What? Well, fine, point taken. Oh, you mean eavesdropping. Both of us stopped to have soup ladled into a couple of small bowls and placed into our trays. The concoction that lands into the bowl looks pretty questionable, but at least it smells reasonably good. As we take our seats at a miraculously free table, I try to think of something that would actually interest him at all. I hope I can come up with an acceptable topic. If it's not about the feminist conspiracies or probably war history, he probably doesn't give a shit. I found an answer to that question you asked a couple of weeks back, where Lily's non-Japanese half comes from, that is. Good man. It's Russia, right? Totally Russia. Scotland. Fuck that. It's Russia. I reject your reality and live my own. He's visibly stopped in his tracks. Scotland. Yeah, that was my reaction too. She can speak English fluently and everything. Damn it! Do you realize what this means? How terrifying this news is to me? I think he's hyperventilating. Passing out for a little while would probably make him more relaxed than he normally is. I don't know if this has... Will this affect anything? Because my obvious immediate instinct is to ignore him, because I really don't want to see where this goes. But humoring him will probably lead to something interesting. Should I eeny, meeny, miny, moe it? No, I'm gonna ignore him. I dig into my food, hoping he'll take the hint from my silence. I just lost 1,000 yen, man! 1,000 yen! Damn, this is the worst day ever! Isn't that just like $10? No such luck. It doesn't seem like it mattered. You're kidding me. You made a bet about her nationality? One of the dudes in my class was bugging me about it. I gave him some of my wisdom, and he had the audacity to say my logic was wrong. Imagine. So, what did he think? Germany or something. It doesn't matter. What matters is my 1,000 yen. Damn, this day is ruined thanks to her. What a bitch! She didn't do that. It's your fault. You're a fool. He looks utterly devastated as he wolfs down several clumps of his soggy, soy-soaked rice. It only takes a few mouthfuls before he pokes his chopsticks at me, stabbing the air repeatedly in revelation. Why, Did your mother ever tell you not to speak with your mouth full? I don't listen to my mother, man. She's part of the feminist conspiracy too. She tried to brainwash me as a baby. He gives me a dirty look before choking down the rest of the food left in his mouth and taking a gulp of juice. It's rather unsightly. He's disgusting. I regret sitting with him. Remembering my own food sitting in front of me, I decide to get the task of eating the cafeteria food over and done with as fast as possible. The sooner I do so, the sooner the experience will be over. Is it really that bad? I never remember cafeteria food at schools being horrible. Like, it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't just or anything. So, as I was saying, why would anyone want to live in that place anyway? I mean, what is there to see? Grassy plains. That's it. Lots and lots of grassy plains. And men in kilts. Hey, what's wrong with seeing men in kilts? Got the leggies out, and they got the sakis. Everyone likes knee-high sakis. I'm not sure which is worse, this food or his worldview. Probably his worldview. I can't imagine that the cafeteria food would be worse than anything Kenji has ever said. I can feel my face being dragged down by their combined weight, not that he'd notice or care. It's not that bad. Why do you care about her so much anyway? She's just your class representative after all. I care about anyone who has a vagina. They're off to get me. He gives a malevolent chuckle, Were this anyone but Kenji, I'd feel uneasy at how he sounds. I finally found the chink in the Feminist Legion's armor. It took a while, but I'm confident that this is going to be how we can bring down the whole system. Scotland. I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready? No. I tune out his ramblings for a moment as I finish my rice and start on the unappetizing soup. One taste is enough to confirm that it's cold. Ready as I'll ever be. I confirmed that Lily's in the Mafia. What? Alright, stay with me for a second here and I'll describe the scene. I don't believe you. You can't even see. I wish I could do otherwise. Lily's there, walking down the street after school, singing doo-wop diddy diddy dum diddy doo. You're not stalking her, are you? No! Damn, man. I do have some sense of self-preservation. Think I'm trying to die? She's in the Mafia! But not dignity or morals or social standards. Anyway, as I was saying, this car pulls up next to her, and guess who steps out? A man in a pinstripe suit, waves her in, then the two leave, just like that. I tell you, man, she's under protection. Under protection. A man in a... I can see where this is going now. It takes effort not to sigh in exasperation. Let me guess, this man was about average height, had a slightly slender build, had blonde hair, looked foreign, and smiled a lot. He looks positively stunned. I take advantage of the moment of quiet to quickly gulp a mouthful of cold soup. It seems you're more observant than I thought. Yes, I have chosen well my disciple, my right-hand man against the feminist army. He giggles a little and nods to himself so dramatically that it looks comical. I can't tell whether he's intentional or not, and the fact makes me frown. Why do you keep talking to him? You obviously don't. You're always upset when you talk to him, Hisao. This has important ramifications, you know. She really is connected to people like them, and we're smart about that. And we're smart about what we do with the information. We could turn this into our greatest weapon against the student council. Why does that sound like a familiar student council? I'm racking my brain. I don't know. I feel like there's something where they are specifically fighting against the student council, and it sounds really familiar, and I cannot remember why. Once he starts rambling into conspiracy territory, my juice suddenly becomes of much more importance. Only half listening to his pontifications, my mind drifts to the matter of Lily and her antipathy for Shizune. The past between them is steadily becoming more coherent, and I'm not even sure if I should be learning of her past this way. Indeed, even if I do work out what went on, it really doesn't seem like my business to go and interfere. Damn, not having Lily around is making my thoughts wander. I'm noticeably more bored and sullen without her company, and the same goes for Hanako. All we do during lunch anymore is eat and play chess. Well, in Hanako's route, you liked eating and playing chess. Punk. Come to think of it, I need to go check on Hanako after school, too. Considering her much improved attendance, I'm guessing she's come down with something. Well, bye. Oh, Nakai? That's me. I stop as I'm about to leave the classroom, turning on the ball with my heel to meet Muto. He's holding out to me a couple of worksheets we'd worked on during the day with his long, lanky arm. Would you mind giving these to Ikazawa? I'd normally ask one of the girls to do it, but I assume you'll be checking on her. For a moment I briefly considered the possibility of that being more than an innocent prediction. I quickly discard the idea, though, as it's hard to think of him acting in such a Machiavellian way. It's not in his nature. Sure, no problem. I think it's interesting that I have pretty much no issue saying Machiavellian, but I get tripped up on easy words. Like 4-letter words. They are my enemy. Walking up the hallway of the girls' dormitory, several ideas of why Hanako's been absent float around my head. The most obvious of them is just a simple cold. That said, she may not even be sick at all. It's been almost a week since Lily left. and despite her at least appearing to be normal, I've suspected she's somewhat more insecure about it than she's letting on. Eventually I come to Hanako's dormitory room. Its simple brown door separating us. Her room's position next to Lily's is extremely convenient and probably a large contributor to their meeting in the first place. Grimacing slightly at the prospect of her being sick, I rap my knuckles on the door. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again, slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. She's not dead, is she? I got doki PTSD. A door opens behind me. A freckled and somewhat scrawny underclassman I don't recognize comes out and is briefly taken off guard by my presence. Hi. Ask about Hanako, right? Actually, this may be a rather fortuitous meeting. Hey, excuse me, do you know if Hanako come out of her room today or not? She doesn't seem to be answering. Ikazawa is Ikazawa. Her not answering the door is totally normal. That tall foreign girl's the only person she'll ever talk to, after all. Gives a shrug before walking down the hallway. I don't know if it would have mattered if I asked her or not, since, I did not benefit from this conversation, having much more important matters to attend to than Hanako or me. Her dismissive attitude annoys me. I consider killing her, and I will later. Hanako must have a reputation as a hermit, a reputation that doesn't seem outright undeserved, at least in the time before we met. Scratching my head, I make one last attempt at getting Hanako to answer as I knock on the door one final time. Hanako, it's just me. Muto said to give you some stuff. For a while, the attempt seems just as unsuccessful as the last. Just before I slip the sheets under her door, though, I can hear the handle rattling. Oh no. She's in her sleepy clothes. As the door opens halfway, I do my best to look Hanako over as quickly as possible. It's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I'd have preferred that to her expression right now. Hi Hanako, Muto wanted to give you these since you weren't in class today. I hold out the loose sheets, which she tentatively takes in her hands. The way she moves is weird, devoid of thought, as if she's some kind of mechanical automaton, rather than a living being. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could get the nurse. It feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine get-well-soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her, though. Oh, she doesn't like that. She seems to collect herself a little at the notion, but only a little. I'm fine. Okay, bye. Good thing I don't have to be concerned about that answer. An awkward silence follows, eventually ended by her nodding solemnly in farewell and closing the door. The entire experience feels surreal. More than a little put off, I wander back to my room and hope that she'll be better by tomorrow, despite not knowing exactly what's wrong with her. Once again, I find myself in front of Hanako's door after another of her unexplained absences from class. Nothing. Considering this is the second day in a row she's been like this, I'm starting to worry about her. Summoning my willpower, I decide to try one last way to get her to respond. Hanako, if you don't say anything, I'll go get the nurse for you. Go away. Oh, what? It's hard to tell whether her tone's one of depression, anger, or both. What in the world can I actually do to help her, if she doesn't even want help? Don't help her. She don't want to be helped. The message is clear enough. I can't just leave her like this, though, just sitting in her room for days on end. Rubbing my temples in thought, I withdraw to my own room to think about how to proceed. Rationality is what's needed here, as an overreaction may just make matters worse. Oh gosh. I dig around drawer after drawer of my desk looking for where I put that damn piece of paper. Before she left, Lily told me the number to call on while in Scotland, and I wrote it down. Now that I need it, though, the damn thing is... here. I probably should have just entered it directly into my cell phone, but I didn't because I'm a fool. Come to think of it, without further ado, I enter the numbers and anxiously press the call button. The fact the phone rings at all shows that I got the prefix for a call to Scotland right, at least. I've never made an international call before, so that's some comfort. It is going to run up my bill something fierce. Eventually the phone picks up, a feminine voice I don't recognize on the other end. It's probably Lily's mother. Sato? English? Suddenly finding myself unprepared, I realize I can't understand a word she says, either due to the limited vocabulary or her heavy accent. I should have anticipated this, since according to Lily, her mother is a native Scot. I soldier on in the hope that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. It's Hisao Nakai speaking. An enthusiastic sound of realization can be heard as she recognizes the language. My feeling of relief is immense. Ah, you must be one of Lily's friends from school, correct? Even so, her accent means I have to concentrate to work out what she's saying. Yes, that's right. Pleased to speak to you, Miss Sato. It's so nice to hear. It's so nice of her to find someone so polite. Lily dear, it's for you. Her mother seems nice, if a little over-enthusiastic given the mundane situation. There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to the phone. In the distance, I can just make out her mother scolding her playfully for just getting up. Hello, Lily speaking. You sound awful. You're a bitch. She makes a sound somewhere between a dying animal and a yawn. I feel like this is familiar. I guess it's not. One thing I did remember to check before calling was the time zone. It'd be pretty late in the morning over there, so she really has no excuse. Maybe she's just tired and depressed. Jeez, what do you mean she has no excuse? Not feeling well? Her aunt is dead. Just tired. What time is it there? Well, she's not dead. She's sick. Late afternoon. School finished for the day not long ago. You're really not a morning person, are you? I don't need you making fun of it as well. Takes me a measure of restraint not to laugh at her pained groan. Poor girl. How are you doing over there, then, bar the mornings? It's been enjoyable, after not meeting them for so long, and just having a meal together with my parents is nice. Though the pool and the sheer size of the house might have something to do with that as well. Even if they're not in Japan, from the way it sounds, her family must be pretty wealthy to live so luxuriously. Are things all right with you and Hanako? Damn, I was hoping that wouldn't be brought up quite so quickly. I take a moment to try and sort out exactly how to describe the situation without causing her undue worry, but she picks up on that without a word being said. Hanako's not well, is she? How did you know? Because today is her birthday. I'd hoped she might have gotten at least a little better after coming to know you, but... How is she right now? She missed school yesterday and seemed out of sorts when I checked up on her. Today she missed school again and just told me to go away. I've really got no idea what to make of it. Has this happened in the past? Is it related to her scarring in some way? Unfortunately so. Roughly the same thing happened last year when her birthday came up. As far as I can tell, it's because her parents died in the accident that caused her scarring, and Hanako blames herself for their deaths. What she says does seem to make sense. If she's blaming herself on her birthday, she may well be ruining that she was ever born. The fact that Lily seems so in the dark about it, though, almost to the extent that I am, is a surprise. So that's why she lives in the student dormitories as well? Has she told you any more about the accident? As close as we've come, she's barely told me anything about what happened. What I know about it is largely conjecture. She sounds depressed, almost defeated. Considering the trauma Hanako must have gone through, I really can't fault Lily for not knowing. Nonetheless, she still seems to consider it a personal failing. Don't blame yourself, Lily, with everything she's gone through. I know. Thank you, Hisao. I'm sorry I can't be of more help to you. It's fine, I'll just give it some more thought. Thanks, and have a good time in Scotland. I... Hmm? It's nothing. Thank you for taking care. Yeah. It's nothing. Thank you for taking care of Hanako. Okay, bye. Goodbye. And with that, the line goes silent. Amid the seemingly only increased number of questions I can't answer, the most immediate is what Lily was going to say. You could have asked. Oh. Oh no. I'm an idiot. She must have thought I was calling to talk with her, but I only asked for help with Hanako. Even more shameful than that, thought is the fact that such an appraisal would be largely correct. Well, first things first, for now I need to at least sort out Hanako and make sure that she's actually eating okay. The occasional passing students give badly hidden glances at the plate of food I carry to the female dormitories. It's hardly a meal to be proud of, only being an instant microwave meal from the convenience store, but it should at least fill her up. Eventually I arrive outside of her room after having to ward off a couple of girls who jokingly tried to pilfer the food I'd taken so long to procure. What a weird thing to do. I decided to forego knocking since it was proven to be an utterly useless measure and it's somewhat difficult to do with my hands full. Hanako, it's Hisao. I know you're listening. I've got some food for you. Silence, as I expected. I'll leave it beside your door. Please eat it at least, okay? There, I've said my piece. Now it's up to her. Putting the plate down, I walked back to my own room to eat my dinner. Dang. By the time I returned to Hanako's dormitory, a good hour's passed. Thankfully, there isn't anything to be seen beside her door. I walk back at least somewhat happier that she's eating. If she intends to get through this by herself, then being able to help, even if it's just in such a small way, is at least something. Okay, so that's we didn't learn anything. I think we just got harassed by Kenji. Big ol' yawn. Yeah, so we just got harassed by Kenji, and that's kind of it. I don't know if anything of importance actually happened, or not importance, but anything new, since this is a lot of what happened in Hanako's route, but slightly detached, since we don't feel as invested in Hanako as we do Lily, apparently. But we still like Hanako, so we gave her some foodies, but she didn't invite us into our room. Wait. Yeah, we didn't go into her room. We just left her some food. And we will see how she is faring in the next episode.